Welcome back to another episode of Into the Airbnb, where we talk with Airbnb hosts about their short-term rental experience. Today's guest is Makeba Matthews from Metro Atlanta, Georgia, who will tell us about her journey and experience as an Airbnb host, and also how is it like to rent her own house on Airbnb during the weekends. This episode is sponsored by Airbnb, the only one analytics dashboard for short-term rental investors and managers, where you can find precise Airbnb data such as occupancy rate, revenue, average daily rate, and so on. So, without further ado, let's get into it.
So, can you tell us how did you get started on Airbnb?
Actually, I purchased the property for myself, and then I decided to make passive income, try to be creative and find creative ways to create passive income. And so this is actually my property that I live in. I rent it out, and I close off certain rooms where the guests don't have access, like my master bedroom, things of that nature. So I kind of live like a gypsy.
So and how was your experience renting your own place?
It's work because I have quite a bit of turnover. This month alone, I've rented every weekend. I'm actually prepping as I'm talking to you. I'm making up some beds now. I had one this past weekend, and I have one this coming weekend. So right now, I have my occupancy for the last 5 weeks, I've been occupied. And it works because it helps pay the mortgage, create a little income stream, and allows me to start the process of looking for real estate. I do want to actually get another property, but right now with the everything is so expensive right now.
All right.
What was like $60,000 is $100,000. So I want to wait a little bit until things kind of settle back down. The rates go back down, because when you are buying, so this is my primary, and if I was to turn around and buy another property, it would be considered investment, and your interest rates are a lot higher on investment property.
I see. Is that rate hike only for like your state, or is it in general?
This is federal.
Oh, okay, I see. So now that you're hosting in your primary residence, how is your audience like? Your target audience, the kind of guests you get the most?
Typically families, small families. I do have quite a bit of inquiries for events and parties. I don't host events and parties. If there's an exception, I'm staying on property to ensure that everything is running smoothly. There's been too many incidents where issues have happened, teens have died, or things have gotten out of control. So I do try to manage. I manage that flow. And like when someone accepts a listing or inquires, that's one of my first things that I mention. Please read the rules. We do not allow parties or events. And some people will call and say, well, can we do a kids party? If it was my children, sure, you could do a kids party, because I know my people. I know the attendees, because I don't know these attendees. No, we can't. I don't have parking, and you have to be mindful of that when you're looking for property. You have to be mindful of parking. My spot doesn't have a lot of parking. And then you also have to be mindful of your guests and what kind of traffic is flowing in and out of your property.
I see. So you get many requests for that kind of things, for example, parties, like you said?
Yeah, because it's cheaper. It's less expensive than going to an event hall.
Right. That's right. I understand.
Event halls are very expensive right now. They're going for $1,200, $1,500, where you can get a whole space for a couple of $100 a night, and you get to stay there. Yeah.
Right. And how is, do you mind telling us how is your average pricing?
Average pricing is about $150 a night.
159.
But then
Okay.
I have a graduated rate where if you book let's see, there's a cancellation policy. So if you accept the cancellation policy where it's 100%, where it's not, you can't cancel or get any money back, something like that. It's some kind of way they have it configured, and it's 15%, no, 10% off per night. So then it becomes 135. So a lot of guests will take the 135 and forego the cancellation. So there is like something happens or it's non-refundable. If you do the one where you actually book for the 150 and don't take advantage of the discount, then there's some refund available in there, something like that. But you don't, you get everything. No, it's not refundable, but you get the cleaning fee back. But my cleaning fee is $75 for a short-term stay. So it works out, right?
Right, I understand. And is your price like the one of the lowest rates, sorry, for your area?
I wouldn't say low. I would say moderate, right in the middle.
So do you go away while your hosts are in your residence? Do they get access to the whole house?
The whole house. They get access to the whole house with the exception of a few rooms that are locked.
And how example, getting them to have access for your kitchen. Do they have that?
Oh yeah, full access. And my kitchen is fully stocked. And they like that. My kitchen is fully stocked. My refrigerator has condiments on the door. I leave fruit in the fruit basket on the table. I leave little individual snacks in a cookie jar, individually wrapped snacks in a cookie jar. I leave eggs and like a sausage and apple juice and some yogurt for them in the refrigerator. And then I leave condiments in the refrigerator. But outside of that, it's not, it's empty.
Oh, and how is your experience with leaving food there for people to use? I know they like it, but some hosts might not really like the idea because they think maybe their guests can do something bad with them. I know, leave the kitchen really, how do you say this, really dirty and stuff like that.
No, I haven't had that experience. People have left my home very nice. I haven't had an experience when anybody's pouring anything up or mess with anything. Or, like the apple juice is in my refrigerator, and no one even had the apple juice the last visit. So I'll just
I see. You had to experience that.
And
do you tell them like before they check in, everything in the kitchen is for them to use?
Yeah, like this past weekend was Easter, so I actually had created I bought some Easter baskets, and then I also dyed some eggs and put them in the refrigerator. And I had like some little toys in the Easter basket full because I know she had 2 kids. So, a little experience that way, give them some little different experiences.
Yeah, that's cute. And that usually guests like that a lot. How many?
They're surprised. Like
sorry?
if it's a birthday, they're surprised, like, oh, for me. Or like if it's a birthday, I may leave like a bottle of wine or some sparkling grape juice. Like, what was it? Was it the holidays? New Year's, I left the kids, and she had some kids coming with her from New Orleans. And so I left the kids sparkling grape juice. I left them a bottle of wine and left the kids sparkling grape juice.
That's great. Those are really great details. They just really like that. And I was about to ask you, how many days do you allow guests to stay? Like how many maximum days?
I've had a guest stay as long as 3 months.
3 months. Okay, I see.
And so they can stay longer, but that's the longest I've had. But I mean, they can stay longer, depending on their contract. That particular guest worked for was a corporate guest. So they worked for a company and they needed corporate housing.
And how was your experience with someone staying that long in your residence?
It was good. She was great. She made it her home. She bought a tent. She was a smoker, so she sat outside and smoked. And she bought a tent, and she bought like a little umbrella set up for herself, and she bought like a little table outside, and so she bought these items so that she could be comfortable in her space while she was here.
Okay, that's great. And if you don't mind sharing, while you're renting your residence, where do you usually go and stay?
Oh, family and friends.
Family and friends, okay. That's great. So now I'd like to ask you some questions about the area you're hosting. Is it Atlanta area, right?
Yes, Atlanta, Metro Atlanta.
Metro Atlanta, okay, great. So in that area, how is the seasonality like?
Okay, summer, spring, summer, those are the highest seasons.
And how is your average occupancy rate like in the high seasons versus the low season?
Right now, like I said, I've been booked every weekend, and I'm already booking for May. So, and weekends are booked more than weekdays. So I have more weekend bookings than I have weekday bookings.
So how is your average occupancy rate like in these seasons?
You mean like in terms of how many days?
Yes, for example, you open your calendar for the whole month of April and you usually get all the days booked, or just 15 days, just half of it?
All the weekends. So I would say all the weekends. So if I was batting 100, I would say 100% for weekends. I don't do anything really during the week.
I see. And for that, like for your high weekends, how is your pricing strategy?
It's pretty consistent with the week. I don't really change the pricing. Like some people might do like a high, a low number during the week, and a high number on the weekend. I don't really do that. My discount is if you stay less than 3 days, you only pay $75 for a cleaning fee. If you stay more, then you pay $100 for a cleaning fee. But my rate is the same the weekends and the weekdays.
It's the same?
Yes.
Oh, I see. So do you usually check on your competition for pricing? Do you use some dynamic pricing solution? Do it yourself?
Yeah, I do. I check my competition to see what they're doing. I offer a whole house. A lot of people aren't offering whole houses.
Oh, and I forgot to ask you, how is like the market like there right now? I've seen that it's a very competitive market. It has a lot of listings.
Yeah, it's very competitive. Very competitive. But I look at location. When I'm looking at my competition, I look at location, I look at price, I look at what they have to offer, stuff like that.
And
like even though I'm in the metro area of Atlanta, I'm only 19 minutes from the city, 30 minutes from the airport. So I'm not that far out. A couple of parks, hospitals for doctors, nurses, right down the street. So, yeah.
And what would you, sorry?
And new construction, so everything is new. Nothing is worn.
And what would you say is the main reason people visit that area?
I was looking at a study recently, and they said most people, it was about convenience over price. So I think for me, it might be right in the middle because when you look at a hotel today, a hotel will run you about $150 to $200 a night plus taxes. Then you got state tax, city tax, hotel tax. So that's another 18-20% on top of your base rate. And all you get is a room. What I find that when people travel, they want to stretch out. Like if they may have some family, a lot of people that I'm hosting have family in the area. Like I hosted a young lady, a family, they were here for a baby shower. Her family was 10 minutes away. Another family, their family was around the corner, or in the neighboring city. So I think location plays a big role in it in terms of booking with us. And you see what all you get with it as well. Because like if you have a baby, an infant, a 2-year-old, a 9-year-old, you got a whole bunch of people. I had one family, they had 8 people in their party. 8 people to get a hotel room would be 2 or 3 rooms. And they're paying at least $200 per room. I know my family, I took my husband and I took the boys, my 2 sons and one of my sons' best friends to New York. We stayed at the Moxie. They're teenagers. One was a freshman in college and 2 were seniors in high school. I had to get them their own room. In Manhattan, the hotels are small. So the rooms are small. So all 5 of us couldn't stay in the room. So I had to get them a whole nother room. And so this setup right here allows everybody to stay together and travel together, stay together,
Right. And would you say that that's the main reason people are choosing, for example, your listing or Airbnb in general over hotels?
Airbnb in general, yes. I mean, Airbnb is just another name for renting, but people have been renting houses before Airbnb. Airbnb is just a more structured platform that pulls people together nationally, globally. But I remember when my kids were younger, my family and another family went to Orlando and we rented a house in Orlando. And it was like 10 of us, so, and that was great because we got to cook. We got to cook meals, save money by cooking, and lodging. I do find that on terms of cooking, I don't find a lot of people cooking, even though it's open to them to cook. They're mostly, like I had one lady, one guest, she reviewed us and said, she even had a pizza stone where you can put the pizza on. It's cast iron. You put the pizza on, put it in the oven and let the bottom heat up real good, but most people aren't cooking. I leave out coffee, tea. I have a dual Keurig where one side of it is a teapot, the little pot, and the other side is the granules for the coffee. And most people are not even using that. I mean, people going to Starbucks. There's a Dunkin' Donuts right up the street from me. There's a Starbucks up the street. Plenty of restaurants around here. So like even in my listing, as you go through my listing, you'll see the guidebooks. And I try to give you places to eat, places to hang out, sightseeing. So give you some different experiences. So if you're new to the city, you know where to go and some, places that have been tried and true and recommendations.
Oh, and would you say people choose not to cook because they just don't want to? They want to live like a more like experience, or like are they afraid of using your kitchen?
They're on vacation. They're on vacation. So they're on vacation. And they don't want to. Yeah. So I get it. I mean, when I go on vacation, I'll cook breakfast. I stay in Airbnbs as well. I'll cook a breakfast, but that's it. That's the only thing I'm cooking. Everything else, we're gonna find lunch. Sometimes the guys will cook the dinner, but we have like before I used to plan road trips with family and friends, and the guys would come in on that Friday night and they'll do a fish fry. And then in the morning, the girls will cook breakfast. And then we'll have a meal out in the street, in local restaurant, experience the local. But yeah, people, they're not. And then you just have people that just don't cook. You know, they don't cook at home, so why they gonna cook at somebody else's house?
Right. I understand. Yeah, completely. And can I ask you about, I forgot to ask you about cleaning. Do you hire people for cleaning in your house? Do you do it yourself?
Because it's just one unit, I do it myself. Yeah, I follow all the COVID restrictions, rules and restrictions on cleaning. I know how to clean. So it's just one listing. It's not hard to manage. If it was multiple listings, then I would hire cleaning service, but it's just one listing.
Okay, I see. So even in case you're kind of busy, you don't get to hire anyone for that?
No, I'm not that busy.
Okay, that's great. So can you tell me, in the past years being an Airbnb host, what have been your top challenges?
Top challenges.
Right.
When I first started, it was, I would say getting started, like knowing what to do. Like when I first started, I wasn't sure how to handle them not using my dishes, right? So I went and bought a crate and I put all my guest dishes and plates and cups. I bought a whole set and just put it in a crate and said, for your use. And I have like a little note on the counter and a picture frame that welcomes them to the property and shares with them that the basket is for them, the crate is for them to use anything out of it. That way we don't cross-contaminate, we keep our things separate. When I first started, I was doing the key, but then a key entry, but then I wasn't liking that, so I switched over to keyless entry. When I first started, I had inside cameras. Then I learned that wasn't such a good idea because people don't want to know that they're inside cameras. So I unplug all my cameras, but I do say in my listing that there are cameras, but they're unplugged. But if for additional safety and security, they feel free to plug them up. Most people don't do that. I haven't had anybody to do that. Let's see. Oh, that's trash man. So yeah, I would say just getting started, knowing the do's and the don'ts and what you can and cannot do. I would say that would probably be my biggest challenge. When you learn as you go, when you listen to what other people are saying.
Yeah, so did you learn that way by listening and reading about other people's experience?
Yes.
Yes, that's the best way to learn about it. Okay, so that'll be it for the day. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for listening to Into the Airbnb. We are looking for hosts and other people in the short-term rental industry to interview. If you have what we need and would like to share your experience in this podcast, please send us an email. All the info is at the end of the description.